Some of the top teams in JUCO basketball on the East Coast and in Region 10 are at Brunswick Community College for the 13th annual Brunswick Holiday Classic, brought to you by Coastline Express Car Wash and our good friend Philip Gauze. Shout out to those folks. And hi, everybody. Chris Shima, glad to be with you for game number 1 of 11. It's the East Georgia State Bobcats at 2-8 taking on the Caldwell Cobras at 7-1. Let's meet the starting lineups for Travis Garrett and East Georgia State. They start today. Number 3, Austin Colton. Number 4 is Amon McDowell. Number 10 is Jalen Gallman. Number 20, Jalen Colbert. And number 21, Jonathan Moliere. Now for Jamison McIver and the Cobras from Caldwell, it's number 0, Sincere Scott. Number 3 is Saquon Harris. Number 4 is Pharrell Boyogino. Number 5, Brandon Morgan. And number 22 is Terrence Johnson. So these two teams ready to kick us off in what should be a fun 3 days of hoops. Glad to be with you. Hey, I'm in the building. Yeah, I'm here. Let's party. For Caldwell, they take on East Georgia today, Saturday against Harcum at 1 p.m., and then Sunday against Chattanooga State will be first to 110. For East Georgia, today they take on Caldwell, then Saturday against Cape Fear, and Sunday against Brunswick. We'll show you the full schedule here during our first availability. Caldwell in the white, they will be the home team on your scoreboard, and East Georgia in their black and gold as Colbert gets ready to tip it against Johnson. Settle in for some holiday hoops, everybody, and happy holidays as we're underway with Scott and the Cobras moving right to left. And away from the ball, it looks like shot clock's at 29. So they have to fix the shot clock. 9 seconds came off the game clock, so it'll be at 25. And then Caldwell will have to inbound it. Coming off a key victory against D3 number 9 Sandhills, and they dismantled Sandhills, did the Cobras. 99-80. Nobody beats Sandhills by 19. D1, D2, or D3 or not. But the Cobras did just that. Their lone loss was 126-120 against number 21 ranked Indian River State. So this Caldwell team is battle-tested. Fake by Colton, and he hits the mid-range. Austin Colton, 12.4 points per ball game, shooting 38%. This is a team they got to make buckets. East Georgia, the Bobcats, 59.6 points per ball game as Sincere Scott answers back for Caldwell. Scott, 18.4 points per ball game, 52% shooter. This is the 7th-ranked offense, Caldwell, at 99.6 points per ball game. Colton, as East Georgia beats the press, can't get it that time. Nice box out. Harris rockets it down low to Johnson, swings it out. Scott corner 3 off the back iron. And a lot of contact, but the offensive rebound, that was away from the basketball. There was some contact, not called. Harris long on the 3, rebound by McDowell for East Georgia. Bobcats back at the Christmas Holiday Classic for the first time in a couple of years. They won 2 out of 3 in 2021, East Georgia. They didn't come in with a very good record that year either. They beat Richard Bland and they beat Cape Fear. Down low, nice interior defense by Johnson. Scott thought about it. Now here is Johnson with the fake and tries to split the defense. Gallman thought he had a steal. Instead, he has a foul. First foul of the ball game as we are even at 2. Caldwell will rack up the fouls on you. This is the top free throw shooting team in D1 and attempts at 33.4 and makes it 25.3. A scrum for the basketball underneath. It was off East Georgia. And like I mentioned, for the Bobcats, it's going to come down to offense this weekend. 2nd worst points per ball game in the NJCAA. They've got to score. This is not only against Caldwell, but there are a lot of high-octane offenses in this region. Nice little flip shot there by Saquon Harris, who averages close to 18 a game himself. It's 4-2 Caldwell. Out deep, Amon McDowell. Here is Gallman on the left wing. Gets a screen, gave him an open look, can't get the three. Colbert, nice hustle for that offensive rebound. Then he stripped but fouled. And the players getting into it a little bit, Harris and Colbert. So both teams with a team foul here in the first minute 40, or 2 minutes 40-ish. McDowell the inbound. Here's Gallman, top of the key. 17 on the shot clock now for East Georgia. East Georgia State. Travis Garrett was the coach a couple of years ago when they came to Brunswick. Right now they're up against the shot clock. It's at 4. They got a hoist. They do, and they hit. Colton for 3. He's got both buckets. Trying to answer back quickly. Scott comes up short. Nice defense at the start for the Bobcats. McDowell had it stripped. Gets it back. And the dime by Colbert. So Amon McDowell averages just over 8 points per ball game. Makes it 7-4 in favor of the Bobcats. Harris top of the key. Harris attacks. Harris too strong off the glass. Tipped rebound comes to McDowell. They have numbers with Harris slow to get back. Now he's back in frame. Attacking McDowell. Can't get it to go. He ricocheted off the backboard. Boyagino throws it full court to Scott. Scott gets around his man. Comes up short again. So a rare cold shooting start this season for Caldwell as they are 20th in the NJCAA shooting 50.4%. Right now, they're a little bit off their game here in the first 4 minutes. Credit the Bobcats' defense. Speaking of defense, Scott picks the pocket. Throw ahead to Morgan. Morgan, yes. Brandon Morgan averaging 12 points per ball game. One of many players averaging in double figures for Caldwell. Just one player in double figures for East Georgia State every night, and that's Austin Colton, who's got 5 of the first 7 for this Bobcats team. Away from the ball, we have an offensive foul, and Jamison McIver throwing a line change at us. It's going to be Jacob Nixon, number 21. Number 11 is Chris Nobles. Number 10 is Torrance Horton. Number 2 is James Freeman. And number 1 is Trevor Smalls. This is a deep, deep team. They have not shot below 44% all season. That's how good this offense has been for the Cobras. They turn it over here on an offensive foul, so both teams with 2 team fouls here in the early stages. Full court press has been on here for the Cobras, trying to force some turnovers. East Georgia State averaging about 17 a game, but McDowell no trouble so far. Colbert on the right wing. Top of the key, it's Colton. Over to Gallman. His 3 off the back iron. Chases down his miss. Here's Moliere for 3, yes. Jonathan Moliere came in 23% from 3. Gets that one to go. Trying to answer back is Horton. He's off on the 3, and this is exactly what you want if you're a Bobcats fan and if you're Travis Garrett. This is a dream start. Defense is clicking. Offense is making buckets. East Georgia with the basketball up by 4. Shot clock now down to 10. McDowell, top of the key. Colbert. Shot clock down to 4. They got to get to work here. Gallman fires. Short on it. Rebound controlled by Horton. Horton brings it into the front court. Here's Smalls. Nothing small about him as he attacks. Late whistle, but Moliere got him. So free throws coming on the 3rd team foul by East Georgia State. So going to the free throw line, Trevor Smalls. He's a good free throw shooter, 82%. 9.2 points per ball game off the bench for Coach McIver. Caldwell and Brunswick are both going after Christmas is over. They're going to the Wake Tech Classic. And Wake Tech's got some players in that one. We're used to seeing Monroe here. Monroe's actually going to be at the Wake Tech Classic, and so is Hagerstown. So Wake Tech Classic coming up after this weekend for the Cobras. Oh, I jinxed them. Smalls missed them both. And there's a lid on the hoop right now for Caldwell. McDowell into the front court. Colton top of the key. Justin Wallace is in for East Georgia, wearing number 25 in the post. Again, shot clock winding down. A turnover. Horton with the steal. Horton pushing. Swings it to the cutter, Freeman. Now Freeman's got to back it out to East Georgia. Rushing back defensively. Nixon for three, got it to go. Jacob Nixon is 53% from behind the arc this season. 53%. Now he's off the bench, he averages 7 a game, so he doesn't shoot a ton, but impressive numbers nonetheless. Colton, top of the key, guarded by Smalls, man-to-man for Caldwell. 7 minutes into the game. Shot clock down to 9. It's becoming a theme. Shot clock now at 5. Here's Gallman. Shot clock at 3. Hoisting again. No good. Ball deflected around. Nobles tried for it, but Gallman's got it. Another extra possession here for the Bobcats in the early stages of game number 1 of 11 of this 13th annual Brunswick Holiday Classic. Put on by Walter Shaw. Every year, they're going to count that bucket. McDowell with the shot clock at 4. That's 4 now for McDowell. And we're going to have a 3-point opportunity when we come back. 12:39 to go in this opening half. Great start by the Bobcats. Will take time. So there is the schedule. 3 games today and then 4 on Saturday and Sunday. Out of the timeout, it's an and 1 opportunity for Amon McDowell, who's a 78% free throw shooter. Both teams with 3 team fouls. 12:39 to go here in this opening half, and East Georgia State leads by 3 as the free throw is missed. Noble's got the rebound. Here's Horton, nearest us. Nixon hit a 3 before the timeout. Gets it back to Horton. Horton guarded by Wallace in the man-to-man. Gets around him, gets help, goes glass, scores anyways. Torrance Horton, 58% field goal shooter. 9.5 points per ball game. It's a 1-point game again. Balanced scoring. We've got 5 different players who have scored for Caldwell. Is that going to be deflected? It was, says the official, so Colton goes to the backcourt. Nice cut there by Wallace. Pass was off. A sub as Sergej Djokovic is in. He turns it over for Caldwell, and laying it up and in is McDowell. So McDowell with 6, Austin Colton with 5 for East Georgia. They go back up by 3. It's Nobles and it's Horton now. Catch and shoot again, Nixon gunning for 3, not that time. Rebound Wallace, and so it's Wallace. Zarius Baker is in. McDowell stays out there. So does Colbert. And Colton. That's the 5 for East Georgia. Couple of fakes, but in the process of pumping, the little pump fake by Colbert caused him to shuffle his feet. So traveling, and the ball goes back to Caldwell. Horton gets it from Javakovic. Smalls back in, gets it to Nixon for 3. Javakovic kicks it back out, extra possession, and then miscommunication there, Horton and Nobles, and just not in sync there. That's all it was. Number 0 is TJ Lewis in black for East Georgia State. Chris Shima, glad to be back with you from Brunswick Community College, where we'll be with you all week long. I said it on my Instagram post. Sunday we might turn basketball into water polo because we're going to get doused with a storm on Sunday. It's going to be very rainy. We'll get the guys those little mouth thingies so you can breathe. They'll play, no problem. Good patient offense there by Zaharias Baker. He averages just 3.5 per game. Scores his first 2. East Georgia State by 5. 10:30 to go here in this opening half. They are just running bodies at everybody on the defensive end. This has been impressive to watch. Javakovic bounce passes it over to Nobles, and Nobles is fouled by Colbert. It'll be team foul number 4 on the Bobcats. More shuffling. Saquon Harris back in for Caldwell. Wearing number 3. For the first time, it's number 15, A.J. Godley. Boyagino also back in. Harris stays out there. Javakovic also still in the game. Left wing, it's a triple try. Boyagino got it to go for his first bucket. Averaging 12 a game. As we go past the midway point here in this opening half, it's a 2-point game. And I think you can probably tell this all by your lonesome, but East Georgia has been working the clock in set pieces. They have pushed it when they've had the opportunity. Lewis now attacks. Lewis, they're going to count that. Another and one for the Bobcats. TJ Lewis, who averages 7.6 points per ball game off the bench, will go to the line for a 3-point opportunity. Both teams with 4 team fouls.
Second personal foul, team's 4th basket was good. TJ Lewis to the line to shoot the bonus.
Couldn't get the 3-point play. Scott the rebound. Boyagino, can he get another one? He can. Pharrell Boyagino takes over his team's lead now. He's got 6 points. Amon McDowell also has 6 for East Georgia. And we got a 1-point ball game. It's been a fun start to this one. I think I owe Walter Shaw an apology. I thought this game was going to be over by halftime, but East Georgia State has really brought it. They are playing well. And right now, the pace of play and the game's being dictated by them, which is exactly where you want to be if you're a slower-paced team. Lewis, top of the key. Reynolds, now Grant from downtown. Another offensive rebound. The extra chance opportunities. Jamison McIver, you might have seen him kind of lean back in his chair. He and I did that at the same time. Steal by Scott. Throw ahead, and Harris will go to the free throw line. That's the kind of foul that you'll live with it if you're East Georgia. That's exactly, you turn the ball over, make them earn it. Good hard foul there. So, Zaquan Harris, 65% free throw shooter. Harris has a field goal. Now he's got 3 points. Caldwell, I believe, is looking for their first lead. They might have led when it was 2-0. So Harris now with 4. Boyagino's got 6. And Caldwell leads by 1, trapping pressure. They are forcing the pace, and you see the turnover there. Scott gets it ahead, and Morgan couldn't score, but he's fouled. That will be team foul number 6 on East Georgia. So you see what Caldwell's trying to do here. East Georgia State trying to slow the game down, and Caldwell, after every make, says, we're going to try to force you to play our style now. See if they can flip this thing over this final 8:27. They've got the lead back. Morgan, who shoots 84% from the free throw line. This is that one. So we've seen some really good free throw shooters coming up short here in the early stages of this one. Game number 2 is Harcum and Brunswick. The Bears are down from Philly. And they better have brought me some cheesesteaks. Morgan gets 1 out of 2. Caldwell by 2. Again, that press is on. Lewis, he's trapped. He needs help. So East Georgia will inbound, 24 on the shot clock, so they have plenty of time to get it across. Now Grant, and that's going to be a foul from behind on Scott. Team foul number 5 on Caldwell with 8:17 to go. Both teams approaching the 1-1. Amon McDowell with 6 points. Austin Colton's got 5. 3 for Moliere for East Georgia State. Pharrell Boyagino with 6 points for Caldwell. Harris has 4. 3 for Nixon. 3 as well for Morgan. Leading scorers here in the first half. Grant with the shot clock at 5. He was determined to shoot that one. Tough possession for the Bobcats that time. Grant comes back to force the jump ball, though, and it's going to be yet another extra possession for East Georgia. So Caldwell leading by 2. The shot clock is at 1. So East Georgia's got a hoist, and they're not going to get it off. The folks at the scorer's table had a bit of a slow trigger with it, but the officials called it. Morgan cross court, Harris for 3. Too strong, ball tipped out, chased down by Grant. Grant into the front court for East Georgia State. Bobcats trying to retake the lead. They've led by as many as 5. Lewis, top of the key, it's Grant. Grant, the runner in the lane, yes. Zaquan Grant with his first bucket here this afternoon. Harris to Morgan. Boyagino. Scott, catch and shoot. Can't get it to go. Rebound. Heck of a box out there by Baker. Baker now on the far side for the Bobcats with 7:03 to go until halftime. Shot clock now is at 10. Top of the key, it's Baker for three. Way off. Nobles throws it ahead. Oh, Scott got loose. Defense recovers. Scott looking for a whistle. He's still on the ground. 5-on-4. Ball fake and Baker with the extra pass to Reynolds. Beautiful offense there for East Georgia as they cut the deficit down to, or they go up by 2, excuse me. Down low over a double team, Noble using his footwork. Chris Nobles with his first bucket. 7.6 points per ball game, 58% shooter, 4.6 rebounds. We are tied at 22. And we have an offensive foul called on the Bobcats. That's team foul number 7, no 1-and-1 on an offensive foul, so it will be Caldwell basketball when we come back. 6:02 left to go here in this first half. Even Steven between East Georgia State and Caldwell. That's me, Chris Shima. Glad to be with you. Glad to be here back in my former home state, North Carolina, as we take a look at some catch-and-shoot action for the Caldwell Cobras. Boy, Aguino with a couple of triples here in this first half. But we got a tie ball game, 22 apiece as we go inside 6 minutes to play here in the first half. Good ball movement here by the Cobras. Open look, Morgan no good, and down low we got a foul. Cobras are in the 1-and-1. We'll see if it was on the putback attempt. I think this is going to be a 2-shot foul. Boy, Aguino will go to the free throw line. For real, Boy, Aguino, 12.1 points per ball game, 8.6 rebounds, 2.4 blocks, 3 assists per game. This kid can do a little bit of everything. As he gets, so it is a 1-and-1, but he got the first one. He's also 82% free throw shooter. Got them both. Boy, Aguino now has 8 points. He was a key piece last season, and he's going to be good down the stretch as well as we get into the second semester starting in January for Coach McIver. Kick ball there. Shot clock will go to 20. It was at 14. If you're just joining us, East Georgia State's been working the clock on their set possessions. Cobras matching their biggest lead. No team has led by more than 5 points. It's been tight. Got to get it in, and it's skied into the backcourt where Colton will recover. McDowell gets a screen, takes it top of the key. Toss into the corner, Lewis, back to McDowell. Fakes the three, steps inside the arc, and buries the jumper. Amon McDowell with a team-high 8 points. Here comes Caldwell trying to answer quickly. Scott is open. Scott buries it. So Scott's got 5 points. He shoots 48% from three, averaging 18.4 points per ball game. Backdoor was open. Nice pass, McDowell to Wallace. Justin Wallace with his first 2. So Caldwell by 1. Morgan will back it out now with 4:37 to go until halftime. Scott tries another one, has another one. So Scott gives Caldwell its biggest lead now at 4. Got to be careful if you're East Georgia here. This needs to be a good possession. Start to feel the momentum shift a little bit in this one. Lewis on the left wing. Reynolds and now Colton. Colton with 3 on the shot clock. Double pumps just to get it off. Nobles the rebound, and then it's deflected off him and out of bounds. Boy, if Caldwell can get on the defensive glass. I'm going to walk by their locker room at halftime, and I guarantee you I hear Jamison McIver screaming about rebounds. I don't know if he's a mild-mannered guy or not, but there will be some conversation about rebounding. Foul on the inbound there by Nobles is going to be the 7th on Caldwell. So, correction, just their 6th. So no 1-and-1 yet for the Bobcats. My apologies. Gallman is back in the game. It's Gallman, Lewis, McDowell, Wallace, and Colton for East Georgia State. Shot clock at 7, and it's stripped by Horton. Horton going coast to coast, puts it up, puts it in. Torrance Horton with his 2nd field goal as Caldwell has upped its lead to 6. This final 3 minutes, 25 seconds. Really important right now, like I said, for East Georgia. They have to start to get successful on this end. Swatted by Boyagino. That's his first of what will likely be several blocks here today and all weekend long. .17 on the shot clock for the Bobcats, and McDowell will inbound it. Bit off, and Lewis runs out of room. So a turnover there. The ball will go back to Caldwell. With 3:18 left to go, the Cobras' biggest lead for either team in the game is 6 points, and Caldwell looking to add on to that. Morgan walks it into the front court for the Cobras. Lost the dribble. Got it back, though. Horton on the wing. Horton right of the lane, into the lane. Got it to go. Torrance Horton now with 6. Boyagino and Scott have 8 points apiece for Caldwell. They have an 8-point lead. Lewis, McDowell on the near side. Colton now. Colbert back in. Shot clock down to 5. The face-up turnaround. McDowell with a tough bucket. McDowell, first player in double figures, and a travel right after that play. Let's see if we can run that back real quick here. The games move pretty quick in JUCO, so we have instant replay. It doesn't mean we get to use instant replay. Let's see what happened here. Yeah, just not expecting them. So back to live action now. Here is Lewis. Lewis and Gallman in the backcourt now. Lewis gets around 2 defenders and scoops and scores. TJ Lewis, his 2nd bucket, answering right back. Nope. Boyagino, I think that was coming up empty. McDowell had it stripped, and now it's a breakaway. Scott. Alley-oop time. Oh, he blew the dunk. Boyagino, come on. Down low, this is Colbert, and Colbert traveled. So not pretty basketball in those last couple of possessions. We thought we had ourselves a top 10 play there, almost for the Cobras. But they do get the basketball. In a 4-point game, they got to get it across here. Morgan recognizes. Morgan now cut off. Scott in the corner. Scott driving baseline and got the late whistle. Team foul number 9 on East Georgia. With 1:34 to go in the first half. Cobras approaching the double bonus. This is going to be a 2-shot foul here. Scott has 9 points, chance to get into double figures here. Scott, 18.4 points per ball game, 3.8 assists, 2.2 steals on the season, and he does get into double figures. So Amon McDowell for East Georgia State with 10, Sincere Scott for the Caldwell Cobras with 10. We had a 6-point game. Oh, Lewis airmailed it. McDowell started his motion, and then Lewis just kind of tossed it out of bounds, expecting McDowell to go the opposite way. Derek Jones is in, wearing number 11, guarding the inboundee. Morgan into the forecourt. Morgan and Horton, Boyagino, Scott, and Smalls. Scott for 3, yes! His third three-pointer. He's trying to sell the contact. Biggest lead in the game is 9 for Caldwell. Open look, McDowell. Can't answer back. Morgan skies. Morgan, the football pass. It deflects to Scott. Scott gets fouled. Oh, my goodness. The pass looked like it was going to be a little bit short. It takes an unlucky bounce if you're a Bobcat fan. And it comes right to Scott, who's going to the free throw line. 39.9 seconds to work with here in this first half. So Scott now has 14 points as he's taken over here late in this first half for Caldwell. Make it 15 now. So 41-30, Caldwell's gone up by 11. About a 9-second difference, game and shot clock, so we'll see here what East Georgia tries to do. Well, they keep throwing the ball out of bounds. Bobcats, if you're just joining us, came out, played about as well as you can ask. Early on in this first half, they led by as many as 5 points. Just outstanding defense, hitting timely buckets. Right now, their offense has gone cold again. Offense consistency on the offensive side has been a problem for the Bobcats. Play a tough schedule, of course. Got an offensive foul underneath. Looks like it's going to go against Morgan. I didn't see it, so we're going to try to run it back and see if we can see what happened here. All right, yeah, it's kind of the flailing of the arms. I didn't see a whole lot there. Here is Colton. Colton to the hoop. Gets around his man, Austin Colton at the buzzer. He's got 7. And it's 41-32 at halftime. The Caldwell Cobras with a 9-point lead. We'll take the halftime break. You're watching the 13th annual Brunswick Holiday Classic, brought to you by Coastline Express Car Wash. We'll be back in 15 minutes with all the second half action. Welcome back to the 13th annual Brunswick Holiday Classic, and it's brought to you by Coastline Express Car Wash and our good buddy Philip Gauze. Third straight year that Philip has foot the bill for this, and we thank him very much. So it's Caldwell 41, and it's East Georgia State 32. The 2-8 Bobcats trailing the 7-1 Cobras. Let's run down the first half scoring totals. This is my stats, so unofficial scoring totals. Amon McDowell for the Bobcats with 10 points, lone player in double figures. Austin Colton has 7, 4 for TJ Lewis, 3 for Jonathan Moliere, 2 apiece for Justin Wallace, Darius Reynolds, Zarius Baker, and Zyquan Grant. Meanwhile, for Caldwell, Sincere Scott got hot late in that first half. He finished the first half with 15 points. Pharrell Boyagino with 8 points. 6 for Torrance Horton, 4 for Saquon Harris, 3 for Brandon Morgan, 3 for Jacob Nixon, and 2 for Chris Nobles. I think that's everybody. As we're underway here, game number 1 of 11, we got Harcum and Brunswick coming up, and then what should be a bouncy finish to tonight, Cape Fear and Chat State. I can't wait for Chattanooga State and Caldwell. Oh, man, there's going to be a lot of buckets. If you like points, that's your game. Back into the forecourt now, Caldwell. Johnson working the block, and Colbert picks his pocket. Colton now will back it out. Some nice defense there by Jalen Colbert, who hasn't scored in the game but has definitely had an impact, especially doing big things like that. By the way, you might remember Scott gets the turnover, and that's going to be a definite travel. Even Johnson knew it. I mentioned I was going to walk by Caldwell's locker room at halftime because the Cobras had not been doing great on the defensive glass. Well, I walked by both locker rooms, and both coaches were pretty animated. Travis Garrett was a little more animated, but there was conversations, as there are at halftime, both teams making their adjustments. Colton for 3, can't get it to go. Rebound controlled by Johnson. Morgan toss to the corner for Scott. Scott tiptoes to the baseline. The reverse. Sincere Scott is sincerely incredible at the start of the second half as well, as he gets that to go. My goodness. Lead is 11. Out of control, Colton. He gets the blocking foul, though, in the restricted area, Johnson. So 2 minutes in, we have our first foul of the second half, and that is on Caldwell. They're going to give free throws to Austin Colton, 86% free throw shooter. I mentioned for East Georgia State, this is the second worst scoring team in terms of points per ball game. They are averaging just under 60 points a game. They've been held under 60 points in 5 straight games coming into this weekend, and they were over 70 points one time in their first 10 games. It was an 89-85 loss against Coastal Alabama South. So they're going to have to figure out how to score the basketball. They get 1 out of 2 at the free throw line. Cobras quickly break the press. Then the ball was thrown away, but Scott is there. Alley-oop time, and the hanging layup by Harris. Scott averages almost 4 assists per ball game. Mentioned the team's leading scorer. Down low, nobody is on Colbert, and he scores. Jalen Colbert averages just 2.3 points per ball game. Trying to answer back Harris. He draws contact, and both teams with an early team foul. Colbert picks up his second. Harris has 6 points here today as he goes to the line. And he rims in the first one. Karashima, glad to be with you down here in eastern North Carolina. Be with you all weekend long. Beautiful weather today, beautiful weather tomorrow, and then the monsoon season starts on Sunday. Last I heard, we were going to get anywhere from 4 to 6 inches of rain in one day. Coming from behind, Boyagino with the steal, full court pass, and the layup by Morgan. Brandon Morgan's got 5. The lead grows to 14 for Caldwell. It was a tight game for about the first 15 minutes or so of that first half. Good attacking play there by Jonathan Moliere. He has got 5. Scott might have lost the handle on that. Either way, it stays with Caldwell. And a wild play there by Morgan, who was a bit out of control. McDowell into the forecourt. McDowell will back it out. Bobcats have been working the clock, again, trying to slow the pace of the game down. Catch and shoot 3, Moliere, air ball. Morgan throws it left wing to Harris for 3, short. Gallman pushing. Gallman taking on everybody and scoring over everybody. Jalen Gallman with his first bucket, and what a bucket. It's a 10-point game now. Uh-oh, don't want to leave that man open, Boyagino, but he stepped out of bounds, so no bucket. East Georgia can, it's always that proverbial double-digit lead mental thing that, you know, if it's an 8-point game versus a 10-point game, you feel like you're much more in it. So another bucket here for East Georgia. I'll have them believing a little more again. They got to take care of the basketball, though. Almost a turnover. McDowell attacks, can't score. This Caldwell defense is 3rd in the country in blocks per game. Scott scores again. He's up to 19 in the game. Lead is up to 12 again for the Cobras. McDowell into the front court. Here is Gallman attacking, and he's fouled by Boyagino. So 2 team fouls on the Cobras, 1 on the Bobcats, and it's Gallman at the free throw line. He gets the first one to go. He's yet to miss this season. Harcum and Brunswick later. Chat State. The Tigers taking on the Cape Fear Sea Devils from up the road in Wilmington at 7. So 1 out of 2, or 2 out of 2 for Gallman. Lead is 10 again. Attacking, Horton can't score. Follows his miss, throws it away. Steal by Moliere. Rocket pass to Colbert, can't score. Boyagino the rebound, then he got fouled. That's going to be 2 team fouls now on the Bobcats, both teams with 2.
Foul called on number 21, Jonathan Moliere. His 3rd personal foul, team 2nd in the second half.
Morgan gets it to Horton. Morgan and Horton hot potatoing it. Now over to Scott. East Georgia has switched to a zone here. Horton had it poked away. Shot clock down to 7. Morgan, Scott, the hot hand, stays hot. What a bucket. Sincere Scott. They were fooled briefly by the zone. Sincere Scott bails them out. He's got 22 points in the game. Gallman on the left wing. Moliere. Colton has his pocket picked by Scott. Boy, we've talked about all the buckets. They got to stay with Scott. Shot no good. Boyagino got the rebound, and he's fouled from behind. It'll be the third foul on the Bobcats. But Scott, he might have 4 or 5 steals in this game already. We're going to go to a timeout. We'll tell you about the East Georgia State subs when we come back. 13:58 left to go in the ball game. Caldwell by 13. Big thanks to our friend Philip Gauze and Coastline Express Car Wash. We're back to live action, and it's Caldwell basketball. Boyagino shoots the 3, no good. Offensive rebound by Horton. Gets it to Boyagino, can't score again. Boyagino, third time's the charm. Farrell's got 10 in the game. Caldwell's been comfortably ahead since late in that first half. Here's Grant over on the far side. Lewis. Moliere hands off to McDowell. Lewis, put a little too much on it. Grant was right there.
Checking in the game for the Bobcats, number 15, Darius Reynolds.
Horton now, Chandre Bratcher is in for the first time. He has it top of the key to Boyagino on the left wing. Again, the zone for East Georgia. Bratcher is going to travel with the basketball. Zaharias Baker is in for the Bobcats as McDowell will go out. Lewis, Grant, Baker, Moliere, and also Darius Reynolds in the game for the East Georgia State Bobcats. Reynolds kicks it out. Moliere, Noble's hounding him. Bratcher tried for the steal. Attacking is Grant, and he travels. But credit the defense there for the Cobras, hounding him. So 12:27 to go in the game. Caldwell trying to go to 8-1. I mentioned this in the first half if you're just joining us. Caldwell's lone loss was to the number 21 team in the country, Indian River State, and they lost 126-120. I got to think there was an overtime or maybe 2 involved in that game. This is a Cobras team that came in averaging 99.6 points per ball game, 7th in the country. Chattanooga, I think, who we're going to see later tonight, is 3rd in points per game. Moliere turned around, got it to go. Patient offense there. He averages 6 a game. He's past that now with 7. Smalls cut off in the corner. Throws cross court to Nobles. Here is Horton. Boyagino catch and shoot. Can't get the 3. It comes right to Smalls, who scores. Trevor Smalls, his first bucket here this afternoon, and a timeout as Caldwell goes up 58 to 43, 11:24 left to go in the ball game. Let's run things back here in this second half. I don't know exactly what we're looking at because I don't remember what replays I saved, so let's discover these together. All right, so this is early on in the second half as we see Sincere Scott tiptoeing and making an acrobatic play. He's got 22 points in the game. And then what else are we going to look at here? I don't know. Let's, again, find out together. More offense on display. A little alley-oop action for the Cobras in this second half. And finally, let's see what this one is. Another catch and shoot. Sincere Scott for 3. He's doing it all here in this game. Scott, like I said, he's got 22 points. Bobcats basketball, 11:24 to go in the game. And it'll be Grant to inbound. Some light trapping by the Cobras, nothing like what we saw in the first half. Some subs in, Trevor Smalls still in, Bratcher stays out there, Sergej Javakovic is in. Horton stays in the game, and Nobles. So that's the 5 right now for Caldwell. Moliere, Grant, Lewis, Baker, and Reynolds remains the 5 for East Georgia. Both teams now with 3 team fouls as TJ Lewis goes to the free throw line. He's got 4 points here today. Make it 5. Leading scorer for East Georgia State, Amon McDowell's got 10. Austin Colton with 8. And Moliere's got 7. So Lewis gets them both. He's got 6. And off the inbound, Caldwell throws it out of bounds. Smalls just not in sync with his teammates there. Quick trigger by Lewis, misses it long. Nobles pushing. Nobles coast to coast, and he's out of control. They're going to call that offensive. Let's see, was he in the restricted area there? I think that might have been what Jamison McIver was asking. Well, we didn't get it. It did look like he was in there, though. Just that last second, hard to tell. So full court press is on. Lewis. That was close. Grant just came into the backcourt in time to catch that before it was a backcourt or over the back, over and back. You know what I mean. Moliere tried to get over Javakovic. Javakovic stood his ground. Scrum for the basketball. The possession arrow will keep it here. 7 on the shot clock.
Checking into the game for the Cobras, number 2, James Freeman.
James Freeman into the game for the first time as Jamison McIver continues to go deeper into his bench. So Lewis to inbound it. Grant now. Lewis goes right side and stepped out of bounds. So it'll be Caldwell basketball. Neither team doing much here in these last few minutes. And Grant sold the contact. Zaquan Grant give him
Fouls called number 2, James
the turnover stat.
Team's 5th in the
Let's
second
see
half.
what happened here. It wasn't much, but again, if you sell it. So it's going to be an inbound in the front court, actually, for East Georgia here. Baker. And now Grant goes behind the back, almost lost it. Freeman looking for a steal right off the bench. Baker now up top. Moliere, pull up, yes.
Basket by number 25,
Jonathan
Molaire.
Molaire's got 9, and it's an 11-point game. Freeman, Javakovic for 3, no good. Rebound by Smalls, put back, no, and he drew contact. That's going to be team foul number 4 on East Georgia. So we're past the midway point here in the second half. 9:51 to go in the game. Free throws to come here for Caldwell, courtesy of Trevor Smalls.
15, Darius Reynolds, his second.
Smalls averages over 9 a game. He's got just 2 here today. Chance to pad those numbers. Well, he came in 82%, and I believe that's his 3rd free throw miss. So he's 0-4 so far. th Annual Brunswick Holiday Classic. The host school is up next against Harcum. Cape Fear and Chattanooga State will be our nightcap. Players going for the ball, and who's it off of? It looks like it's going to stay with Caldwell.
Checking into the game for the Cobras, number 21, Jacob Nixon.
Jacob Nixon, number 21, 3 points in the first half on a couple of three-point tries. He's got a quick release. Look out for him. He's in the corner on the near side. Attacking is Nobles. Nobles gets free throws. Both teams have 5 team fouls.
Fouls called number 15, Darius Reynolds, his 3rd personal foul.
3 on Reynolds, and for Nobles, a 77% free throw shooter goes to the line. Boy, free throws just not falling with consistency today. Missed them both again, and we got another whistle. This time it's on the Cobras as the whistles have started to intensify.
His 3rd personal foul, team's 6th in the second half.
So 6 now on the Cobras. Next one puts East Georgia State in the 1-1. Got to be careful if you're Caldwell, letting this team kind of hang around a little bit. You don't want to get them into the bonus. Boy, that was a heck of a pass there as Moliere gets the bucket, but Grant really had to no-look that almost. 11 for Moliere.
Fouls called at number 1, Saquon.
So both teams now with 6 team fouls.
For the Cobras, number 0.
As Sincere Scott comes into the game, Horton will get a break. Scott, the leading scorer in the game with 22 points. Freeman now. He's fouled from behind, a reach by Lewis. And it's 1-1 time for Caldwell.
Number 0, TJ Lewis, his second, team 7.
Some of these fouls in the second half have been extremely silly as well. That was one of them.
Number 2, James Freeman.
Chancellor James Freeman, 56% free throw shooter for the 1-1 here. Gets the first one, so they'll give him another. Colbert getting ready to come back in. 1 out of 2 at the line, so Colbert will have to wait. Lead is 10 again for Caldwell. Grant, top of the key. Lewis for three. Yes. TJ Lewis has 9 points. And then more whistles. Grant picks up his second. 8 team fouls on East Georgia. And Scott going to the line. Boyagino will come back into the game. Free throw goes in halfway down, came back out, rebound by Baker. So it's a 7-point game. And East Georgia feeling very good about where things are. Too many fouls on their side, too many turnovers, but they're right there. Here's Lewis spinning. Lewis over a double team. Javakovic, more good defense, but Caldwell turns it right back over, and it's Grant to Lewis. TJ Lewis with 11. It's a 5-point game. Caldwell got to respond here. Scott, pull up from the elbow, too strong. Colbert chases it down. Here come the Bobcats. Grant into the forecourt. 8:06 still to go, forever in basketball. Lewis will back it out with 15 to shoot. Olier, he's been hot with the shot clock winding down, can't get it to go. And on the rebound, I think they're going to get Caldwell here. It goes on Boyagino. And it's 1-and-1 time if you're East Georgia. Colbert is not a good free throw shooter. So not a bad gun. Boy, everything is opposite day today from the free throw line. He came in 31.3% from the free throw line. Gets that first one to go, though. So 1 out of 2, but the offensive rebound by Baker. So another possession for the Bobcats. And Grant got around everybody. Grant's second field goal. And East Georgia has cut it down to 2. No timeouts for Jamison McIver. Bit surprised. Letting his team figure it out. Boyagino, handoff to Morgan for 3. No good. Offensive rebound, Nobles. Nobles stripped. Here come the Bobcats trying to tie or take the lead, and Baker will slow it down as the Cobras getting back on defense. But game in the 50s, in the 60s, this is what East Georgia State wants. They're back to dictating the tempo. They're back to dictating how this game is played, which is where we were for about the first 10, 12 minutes of that first half. And now it's TJ Lewis at the free throw line with a chance to tie it up. He'll get 2 shots. Justin Wallace will come into the game. Moliere goes to the bench for Travis Garrett. So still a chance to make it a 1-point game here. Those of you who are going to be with us all weekend long, we will likely be behind for just about every game. The games will be updated with the correct start times on YouTube as they happen. So if you're looking for a game and it hasn't started yet, we will post the time, and when you click on the link, YouTube will let you know how many more minutes you have until it starts. Into the forecourt, Scott. Caldwell in desperate need of a bucket. They go to Boyagino. He's double-teamed. He needs help, and he traveled. Oh, he's fouled on the floor by Wallace. Oh, my goodness. Caldwell gets bailed out here. Let's take a quick peek at that one. That little reach there. Oh, Wallace was playing perfect defense, and then that little reach at the end is what got him. So Boyagino, who shoots 82%, is at the line now. He has 11 points now here today. Got another. So a dozen for Farrell. The lead is still a one-possession game. Here's McDowell splitting two defenders and threw it away, but it was kicked. Unfortunate break for the Cobras, but the ball was kicked. And we're going to go to a timeout. 6:32 to go. The Cobras had been in control. East Georgia State has come roaring back. We'll take time. Welcome back, everybody. Well, T.J. Lewis for East Georgia State's done a nice job defensively. He drew an offensive foul. There he is being aggressive on the offensive end, and the Bobcats have made it a ball game. Cobras do lead, but just by 3. They led by 15 multiple times in this game. And it's Grant to inbound. Grant has it between the circles. Grant splits the defense. Alley-oop. Oh, hard foul. Baker somehow got the bucket to go. He's up quickly. Fortunately, Baker is going to go to the line with a chance to tie this game up. Take another look at the alley-oop, and they're giving Baker a couple moments to shake off the cobwebs over there, as I think he might have a bloody nose right now. So that's going to send Austin Colton into the game to shoot the and one, as Baker had to come out. Again, he's okay after taking that hard foul. It looks like maybe just a bloody nose that they got to fix up for him. It's been physical today. Colton completes the play, so he's got 9. That was Baker's second goal. He's got 4. And we got a tie ball game. East Georgia State has come all the way back from 15 down. And answering right back is Harris. +1. So Harris goes into double figures. He's got 10. Caldwell gets the lead back. Maybe a little talking down there. So Harris going to go to the line for a chance at a three-point play. The foul was on McDowell, I believe. Both teams are going to be in the double bonus the rest of the way. 6:03 to go. So back up by 3 just like that, the Cobras, is Saquon Harris now with 11 points. 64-61 as we go inside 6 minutes to go in the game. A ragged second half. Here's McDowell on the wing. Colbert, and he's fouled. Both teams in the double bonus. We see a lot of free throws here in Eastern North Carolina. A lot of them. And the second half in this one, the first half was pretty clean. Both teams did get into the bonus, but it wasn't anything too crazy. So Colbert, who's got 3 points at the line. Again, 2 shots no matter what the rest of the way for both teams.
Checking in the game for the Bobcats, number 14, Zaharias Baker.
So good to see Baker getting right back in. I mentioned they might have checked him for a concussion too, but he popped right back up after taking that hard shot. 1 out of 2 at the line, so Caldwell keeps its 2-point lead. And here come the Cobras into the forecourt. It's Horton spinning, shooting, coming up short. Nice defense there by Colbert. Said that a few times today for Colbert. McDowell. Colbert goes to the ground, kept the dribble, and I think East Georgia got a timeout. So the Bobcats will keep possession as we go to a 30-second timeout. So that's a updated, or that's the look at the schedule. All games here on YouTube. This one's turned into a tight one after Caldwell led by as many as 15 points. Chris Sheeman back here with you, 5:22 to go. East Georgia looking for its first lead since the first half. They led by as many as 5 in the first half. Here is Baker. Pass deflected, stayed with it, got it to Grant. Grant pull up, shot clock violation.
Shot clock violation.
Cobra's picking it up defensively. 5:06 to go in the game. Boyagino. Scott splits 2 defenders, but he got fouled. And foul on the floor or not, it doesn't matter at this point. It's double bonus for the rest of the game for both teams. Grant's got 3. Sincere Scott, 22 points. Can he close out the game the way he closed out the first half? He went on a tear. at the end of the first half and into the early stages of the second half to help Caldwell push that lead out. He's been quiet since then, and he misses the free throw. Boy, free throw misses and defensive rebounding today for Caldwell. Horrid. 1 out of 2. Scott's got 23. Still a one-possession game, though, with tons of time on the clock. Caldwell in a 99-80 victory against Sandhills. There's their previous game. Had 7 players shoot 52% or better. 4 players shot 43% or better from 3. Shooting's not really been the problem today for Caldwell. And Grant buries a 3. We got a tie ball game again. Grant's up to 7 points. Scott tries to answer back. And that's going off Harris out of bounds. No, they say it's off Moliere. He's got to be careful. He's right to be upset. I think they got that wrong. I don't think we got the replay on it, though. No, we're not going to have time to look at it anyways. Behind the back, Harris, and he got fouled by Grant. Grant has 4. He and Lewis have played so well in the backcourt today. Amon McDowell's been quiet here in the second half. He had 10 points at halftime. He's still stuck on 10 points. So Harris at the line. Travis Garrett not going to take out Grant. So he'll play with those 4 fouls. Harris gets the first one to go. He's got 12. No, now he will take out Grant. So Colton back into the game. Colton has, I think that's 9. I can't read my own writing, but I'm pretty sure it's 9. If not, it's 8. So Harris gets them both, and Caldwell in a tight one by 2. Inside 4 to go in the game. Baker, pass deflected by Morgan out of bounds. East Georgia State will have 19 on the shot clock. Colton gets a screen. I think Caldwell switched to his zone. They were in man for most of the game. Colton for 3, yes! East Georgia leads as Colton now has 11 in the game. Catch and shoots, answer by Morgan. Brandon Morgan puts Caldwell back up. .309 left to go. Who wants it? Look out, Colton. And I think Scott is going to be called for the foul. So a chance to tie it up again for Colton. Scott, that's his second.
Austin Colton at the line to shoot 2 shots.
Colton, 86% free throw shooter, but these stats have meant nothing today. They're looking to get Grant back into the game. Oh, he's coming in for Colton. Grant's got 4 fouls. Interesting they would bring him in for defensive purposes with 4 fouls. If you're Caldwell, might consider that an advantage if you can get at him. So Colton with the Baker's dozen in the game. He goes out. Grant comes in. Again, got to be careful. Another tie. Scott. Morgan now on the left side. Boyagino and away from the ball. We're going to have an offensive foul on Harris. I think that's the second time that's happened in this game. See what's happening down low here. Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty clear call there. And again, East Georgia does a nice job selling these calls, but they are the right calls. So 2:42 to go. East Georgia again. Chance to take the lead here. Moliere gets it to Colton. Colton hangs. He got caught up in the air, and then Morgan is fouled. Not a great offensive possession there for the Bobcats. That's 4 now on Moliere. So here's Morgan with 8 points today. Caldwell has missed free throws all afternoon. Can they convert when it matters most? Still can't. Morgan came in 84%. So Morgan gets 1 out of 2. He's got 9 in the game. Caldwell by 1. 2:20 to go. Boy, they let no call there. Top of the key, Colton. Colton takes it to the free throw line, short. Rebound by Scott. Scott looking to push. Scott into the lane. Scott hangs it short. Here comes Baker now. East Georgia. Baker coast to coast. Scores! Timeout, Bobcats. They take a 1-point lead. Back and forth we go here in this one. We'll be back. Thanks to our friend Philip Gauze and Coastline Express Car Wash for sponsoring the 13th annual Brunswick Holiday Classic. Well, Baker gets the rebound, then he's off to the races, and it's good aggressive offense. This is the second game all year in game number 11 that the Bobcats have scored over 70. They lost the previous one. Cobras led by as many as 15 in this game. Sincere Scott, 23 points in the game. He's got the basketball. Gets it to Harris. Harris behind the back, lost the handle on it. Baker has it. Harris ties him up. I believe it's going to be a jump ball, and I think we're staying with Caldwell. With 11 on the shot clock, minute 36 on the game clock. Credit the Bobcats. They did not fold when they got down at halftime. Travis Garrett, I heard his halftime speech. He woke his guys up, let's say that. Scott to inbound. Shot clock at 8. Scott fell down. Ooh, and they call a whistle. I think Scott might have fallen on his own. Let's take a look at this. Does he fall down on his own here? It's Eastern North Carolina. That's the way they officiate here. They'll let nothing slide. That's a real tough call, though. We've seen some contact let go. We've seen some not. But in that moment, Sincere Scott able to get the whistle. So he's got 23. He's back at the line. Free throw shooting has been a problem for the Cobras today. Not for Scott, though. He's up to 24. Tie game, but an offensive rebound by Horton. Extra crack at it now for Caldwell to retake the lead. Scott gets it to Horton. Morgan back to Scott. Scott, contested shot. Nice defense there by Moller. So even at 72. McDowell hands it off to Colton. Inside a minute to go in this one. Colton with 14 to shoot. Here is Baker throwing it up short and an offensive foul. So Caldwell gets it back. The Cobras have lost just one game all year. That was to number 21 in the country, Indian River State. And it was only by 6. It's not a massive upset, but the Bobcats coming in 2-8. It would certainly be a surprise. East Georgia State committing the foul, it looks like, on Morgan. I mean, the way it's being called, you just keep attacking. If you're both of these teams, it'll come down to free throw shooting. That's 5 fouls on Jonathan Moliere, so he goes out with 11 points. As Austin Colton comes in, TJ Lewis, who has 12 points in the game. So opportunity now here for Morgan, who's got 9 points today. Make it 10. Caldwell back up. 8.4 is going to be the difference, game and shot clock. Both teams have a ton of timeouts left. There's 9 combined timeouts remaining. And the possession arrow does favor the Bobcats. So keep that in mind down the stretch here. So Morgan has 11. 74-72. McDowell getting a screen here. Boyagino on him on a switch. McDowell. Boy, Scott another steal, his 5th, I believe, of the game. And he takes a hard shot, and he is down. Sincere Scott, who's got a game-high 24. And hopefully he just needs a minute here, and he does. Oh, to be 18-19. I'm 41. If I got hit like that, bring out the stretcher. Chris is going home. So they're going to give Scott a minute. With 15 seconds, you know, you've got enough time for 2 possessions if you're East Georgia State. But if Scott gets them both here, gets the first. It's still a one-possession game. So East Georgia's going to have to push it if he makes this one. He misses, and the window is open. Here come the Bobcats. 9 seconds to go. No timeout. Here's McDowell. He had it poked away by Scott. Run out of room with 4.5. It'll stay with the Bobcats. And a timeout by Travis Garrett. So, run down some numbers here. TJ Lewis and Austin Colton out of the backcourt have combined for 25 here today. Colton's got 13. Lewis has 12. Amon McDowell has 10. All of that came in the first half. Jonathan Moliere, who's fouled out, has 11. Zarius Baker was 6. 4 for Colbert, 4 for Goldman. Those are your leading scorers for East Georgia State. For Caldwell, Sincere Scott has been incredible. 25 in the game. 3 other players in double figures for the Cobras. Saquon Harris has 13. Boyagino has 12. 11 for Brandon Morgan. Then 6 for Torrance Horton. 3 for Jacob Nixon. 2 for Chris Nobles. 1 for James Freeman. And those are the scorers in the ballgame. Remember that possession arrow with 4.5 seconds. If it comes down to it, East Georgia State has the basketball. They're down by 3. They've got to inbound it around midcourt. So they've got to have a 3 to force overtime. Otherwise, Caldwell is going to survive this thing. But East Georgia State, who came in 2-8, has everybody on notice regardless of what happens because they played their butts off today. So it's going to be Baker to inbound it. Best three-point shooter is Colton's at 31%. It's not a great three-point shooting team, East Georgia. As a team, they're at 26%. But Austin Colton is the best option at 31%. And now it looks like Caldwell's going to call time. Again, a lot of timeouts remaining, so 4.5 left. Coach McIver wants to see what his team can do defensively. We'll be back. Welcome back, everybody, as we're set to go here. Again, 4.5 seconds left in this one, and Grant to inbound. The 3 at the buzzer is going to be short by Lewis, and that will do it. Caldwell survives, and another heartbreaker for East Georgia State. So East Georgia State, the Bobcats fall to 2-9, and Caldwell goes to 8-1. 75-72 is your final. Again, about a half hour from now, we'll have Harcum and Brunswick. So come on back for that one coming up at about a little bit before